Welcome to the Ryder Report. Now here's your host, Ryder Sloan.
Hi, I'm Ryder Sloan. Welcome to the Ryder Report. Today featuring another episode in our special series, Greatest Moments in a Michigan Uniform. Sometimes the most impactful moments in sports aren't necessarily the flashiest of plays. Sometimes the most impactful moments happen when a player simply executes perfectly. Such is the case with today's featured story, which starts with a young recruit from the University of Detroit Jesuit joining the Michigan basketball program in 2010. The player is Jordan Morgan, a tough defensive-oriented player who made a play in the closing seconds of the 2013 NCAA Semifinals. That play was against a great Syracuse team, and that play was arguably the key to Michigan making the national championship game. With Syracuse mounting a fierce comeback, Michigan only had the lead by 2 points, 58-56. Syracuse inbounded the ball with a chance to tie or take the lead. Syracuse's Brandon Trish dribbled down the court and then drove to the basket for what otherwise would have been the game-tying layup, but was stopped by Michigan's quick-thinking power forward Jordan Morgan, who slid over in front of Trish to take a perfectly executed charge that prevented the basket and iced the game, and sent Michigan to the NCAA Championship Game. I had a chance to sit down with Jordan and ask him about the play. So let's set the stage here. So it's 56-58, you have the lead, Michigan has the lead, and Syracuse is mounting a bit of a comeback. There's 27 seconds left. Brandon Trish starts driving to the basket, barreling down the lane, and you step in front of him, and you draw the charge. What were you thinking? Did you plan that, or did you just act in the moment?
So I think it's a little bit of both, and that's a great question. A funny story, Brandon Trish has been my teammate twice since I've left Michigan, and we don't talk much about that game. But so first and foremost, to a lot of people on the outside, it might seem crazy to take a charge in that moment. But for me, I realized the play that was happening. And if you watch that play, what they're doing is they're setting screens on the opposite side of the court to try to get everybody to focus on that action and for Brandon to just drive and get a layup and score. But I recognized that they were trying to do that, and I think they might have even done a play before that. But I recognized the action. So for me, I knew what was happening before it happens. And if you see, I start to actually move back to the other side of the court before he even, starts to really make his move, because I recognize, no, this is fake action over here. And by that time, I was thoroughly a defensive player. I actually had a conversation with Coach Beeline after my injury where he told me, and this is not a direct quote, but basically, I don't care if you ever score, just play great defense. And so, I was a first team all defense in the Big Ten that season just by focusing on defense. So that was my job, was to know everything that was happening on the defensive end. And that was really why I was in the game at that point. So I knew what was happening in the play. And as soon as he started driving, that is when for me, it was just an instinct. So it was a little bit of both. It was a little bit about knowing what was happening with the play, but then also just my instinct was, I'm going to step in and make a play. And I had gotten so good at taking charges, through my Michigan career. It's one of the things that people know me for, was taking charges. And it was just an instinct for me at that point.
10 years later, you said you played earlier. You played with Brandon Trish 2 times. You guys don't talk about it. Famous play now in the history books. Was it a charge?
100%. In my opinion, I was in legal guarding position before, he made his movements to the basket. And, people, I've had a few controversial charges in my career. And that's kind of one of the things that I'm known for, I think, of anything in college basketball. But, it's part of the game. And it was something that I really worked on and got good at, making that play. So, in my opinion, it's a skill that you develop. And I took advantage of, the rules of the game, for sure. And 100% it was a charge.
Now that great play is how legends are made. Before I let Jordan go, I had to take him on for one shot. Check this out.
All right, we'll play. You got one move. Let's see your best move. Oh, wow, that's pretty good.
Should have taken the charge. Thanks for joining us on the Ryder Report.